Hi everyone, I am ready to react to, I'm trying to change the heading and it doesn't seem that I can do that until it's finished. Let's see. Okay, well, we're reacting to The Walking Dead. Season 5, episode 15. I was hoping some of my Walking Dead crew would be here by now to join me. I'll give it about another 5 minutes to see if you guys will come, and then I'm gonna start reacting. Okay, let's see. I want you to join me, guys. Let me see if I can post a message to let you guys know I am live. Okay, I'm gonna edit it right here. I have 3 people joining me. Say hi so I know who you are. If you're here for The Walking Dead, let's get ready to rumble. It won't let me change the heading, guys. I don't know. Let me change the heading, guys. I don't know. It's. Mm-mm-mm. Yeah, I don't see where to change the heading for this live. I guess I can do it afterwards. Yeah. Oh well. So we're here to watch The Walking Dead. Oh, I should post. Hi, Rick Grimes. Good to see you here, to watch you make a mess of things, to watch you unravel during this episode. What's going on with you, man? You need a mental health check. Hi, guys. Hi. Uh, I'm trying to put a message out to my Walking Dead crew. No, I'm not trying to be Michonne. I'm not badass like her. I'm just a fan of hers, right? So don't worry, Rick. I'm not trying to replace the one and only Michonne. Mr. Rick Grimes. What have you been up to lately? I heard you returned to Alexandria. What have you been doing in Alexandria? Have the CRM have the CRM roped you back in yet? They wanted you to lead. But I have something to tell you. You have to be beware of. It seems as if General Beale left some members of his crew, some of the bad faction of the CRM. He left them in different communities. So you might have some in Alexandria. So watch your back. Not Rick Grimes, not Rick Grimes. The mediocre I've seen, I've heard, I've not even watched, was Dead City and What's the other one? The Daryl Dixon show? Not Rick Grimes, not The Ones Who Live. That was top tier. So, disagree with you, Victor. What? I don't know what you're talking about, Lucky. See, I like that you agree to, I like that you can debate fairly, Victor. Yeah, I was looking, I don't know how to navigate this, my own channel on mobile. Just, that's just the facts. I wanted to change the title of this live, and I wanted to leave a note to my Walking Dead crew, and I can't find them. So let's get on with the show. Less and cuts. Okay, I'll try to check it out. I can't do it right now while I'm reacting. Well, while I'm about to react to The Walking Dead, but if I'm able to read the chat after, I'll look up your channel, okay? The lesson. Hi, Abdul. Okay. You're welcome, Delan. I'll try. No promises, but I will try. Because as you see, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm trying to navigate this thing on mobile, and I can't find anything. Once I'm like in that live screen, it doesn't give me many options. I'm fine. I'm doing well. How are you? Okay, let's get started here. Okay, there's a crashed car. Birds are chirping. All of the episode starts with birds chirping. Do you notice that? Oh, there's Morgan. He's sleeping. Cam J, why can't you stay? Oh my gosh, I was waiting for you guys. Aw, I wanted you to be here. And this is the finale too, Cam J. It's gonna be a good one. I wish you were here because I wanted to hear your input as we watched the episode. But thanks for stopping by and saying hi anyway. Morgan is, what is he having? Tea, hot chocolate?
Looks good.
Uh-oh, someone interrupted. Intelligence is a skill or a gift? I know wisdom is a gift. Um, I think intelligence is a gift. Knowledge can be acquired, but intelligence is how you use that knowledge. And so it could be a skill also, because it's how you use the knowledge that you have that makes you intelligent. Wisdom, no. The reason I disagree with you, Victor, is because, oh, you can't stay. Oh, Cam J's answering. Okay. Sorry, Cam J. Wisdom is a gift because wisdom is from God. God is wisdom, and we're not God. So to have wisdom, it has to be given from God, or you follow God. You don't have wisdom, follow God, and you will attain wisdom. And you can also ask. It says he blesses you with wisdom if you ask. So, hi, Richard. Because yeah. Okay, back to the episode. Hi. Some guy pulled up and said hi to Morgan, but he has a gun on him, so it's not a friendly hi. It's not. It's not the hi that you guys give me. I'm glad you you pulled up with a friendly wave and a smile and goodwill, and not like this guy is doing to Morgan. Morgan doesn't seem perturbed. Oh, he has a W on his head. Oh, I know who this guy is.
First settlers here, they put bounties on wolves' heads, brought the natives into it, made them hunt them. Didn't take them too long to kill them all. They're back now.
So he thinks he's a wolf. No, that's enlightenment is being aware. To me, being aware whether of your surroundings, your environment, of your who you are, who being aware of God and your place in the universe, in the world. To me, that's enlightenment, awareness. Wisdom is actually God. God is wisdom. So to me, to gain wisdom is a gift. You have to attain it, and it has to be given. It's a gift that's given. It's something that we can't acquire of ourselves because it's not within us. So to me, it's a gift. Well, not just to me. The Bible says it's a gift because it comes from God, because God is wisdom. So thank you, Short King. You'll double what if I get someone else to do it? Double what, Richard? Okay. Back to the episode. This episode is I have chats, hangout chats that you guys can come and join whenever, and we can talk about anything. We can talk about uh philosophy and life, whatever you want. But now it's The Walking Dead. I have to get this reaction finished. It's gonna be quite an edit.
Everything gets returned. You shitting me?
No, I shit you not.
I like this. Just talking. I don't get to meet new people very often. Maybe once every 2 weeks.
That's a lot.
Well, I work at it. We do. Sometimes we find camps, we run through them. We have traps too. It's different. It's not like meeting like this.
So he's hunting people and acting as if it's just normal. Oh, I just, look for people and find them and get to know them. No, he looks for them and he kills them. He hunts them because he thinks he's a wolf. Insane in a membrane.
I want everything you have.
He wants everything Morgan has. He wants the drink that Morgan is drinking, and Morgan says, "Can I keep some?" He said, "No, I want all of it." And Morgan says, "Well, can I just get a little bit so to keep me, alive for a day or two?" And the guy said, "Well, I want you too, and you're not going to be alive." Oh, how lovely! What a lovely talk.
Some of the tribes, they thought
He's yammering about the first people being wolves, and that's what the first tribes thought. Can we get back to Alexandria? I'm just not into this guy's insane philosophy, and Morgan just trying to reason with him.
he's still.
Cam, are you still here? I'm looking for Deanna, Rashida, Noor. Oh, someone else came. He had backup, and his backup can't fight. Morgan got them down with a stick. I wish I could do karate. I just don't want to, take the effort to learn. Well, Morgan took care of them, but he really should take care of them because, I mean, not just knock them out because they're hunting people and killing people. He put them in the car. Yay, Rashida! I was hoping you would join. Yeah, my Walking Dead crew is here. I don't know if Cam is still here. She said she couldn't stay, so bummer. But you're here, Rashida. I'm so happy you're here, and I hope Nor joins, and Sandrine, and Constance, Deanna, or Deanne. I keep saying Deanna. D, my Patreon crew. Okay, Daryl is riding on his bike. I don't know what he's doing, but he's out in the woods. Oh, I thought I was showing you guys the screen. Let's see. I'm such a dork. I still don't have a handle. See, I still don't have a handle on this live thing. I know, right? Where do they get the gas for the cars to, though, Rashida? So they're probably making them. Oh, Rick is waking up. Ooh, I love this scene. Have to watch the footage. Can't show too much. He's laughing to himself.
You were here the whole time? Alright. What's so funny?
What's so funny, Rick? Listen to what Rick says, guys.
It's like the train car. You have to do the whole thing. I'm still there.
Deanna wanted you in here. Calm things down. Rosita patched you up.
Do you guys want to discuss that? He said it's like the train car, that he's still there. He feels like he's still there. He's still trapped. He feels that he's in danger, that they're all in danger. He feels surrounded. He doesn't feel safe in Alexandria. He's extremely paranoid. And he thinks it's imminent that any time now something is going to happen to put them all in. He thinks they're in danger, but he thinks the hammer is going to drop soon. So that's part of his PTSD, the paranoia, and it's understandable for everything they've been through and, you know, what they've just come out of. So remember, he didn't want to be in Alexandria. Hi, Jesus on my side. Rashida said, technically they are in danger, and Alexandria of the ignorance of this community. Yes. But it's more than just the ignorance of the community. He knows, you know, there's nowhere safe, you know, because everybody now, as he told Deanna, is just out to take something for. If you have something, they're gonna come and take this place. But he's not just afraid of the danger outside the walls. He's afraid that in Alexandria, that these people are just putting up a front, and any day now, you know, they'll show their faces, just like how in Terminus. So he's on edge about that too. And then on top of it, on top of all of that paranoia and PTSD, he is having mini psychotic breaks. Remember, he had that psychotic break in the prison? He had that psychotic break. Richard, I'm not even going to say anything. Listen, it's all in the eyes of the beholder, right? Right, Richard? What one pair of eyes sees, another pair may see something else. So don't get on my case about that. So yeah, it's where was I? Yeah, he's in the prison. He had a psychotic break. You know, the very thing that Shane warned him about happened. And Lori died, you know, not directly, but indirectly. You know, maybe if that didn't happen, she could have gotten help. Herschel would have been able to help deliver the baby and she wouldn't have died, right? We don't know. But Rick has put the onus on himself. Rick takes the blame. He is carrying a burden of guilt. And in doing that, coming to Alexandria, remember, throughout the prison, everywhere he looked was Lori. Lori was a representation of his guilt. The same thing is happening in Alexandria. Everywhere he looks, instead of seeing Lori in that white dress or her pregnant flannel outfit. He's seen, every time he sees Jesse, that's another representation of his guilt. And it so happens that Jesse is in danger. Jesse has a threat, which added on to the general threat that Rick feels about Alexandria and feeling trapped, like he's, because of his PTSD, he's still in that train car. He's seeing that guilt, his guilt everywhere, stamped everywhere around Alexandria. But instead of the white dress wearing his guilt, this guilt has a blonde hair and a flannel shirt. So I from the other videos I've already told you, she's an avatar of Jesse. Jesse's an avatar of Lori, and Lori represents Rick's guilt. So what you're seeing now is that he's now just outright telling Michonne. Michonne didn't even ask. She just asked him, what's so funny? And he's like, I still feel like I'm in the train car. So Michonne is his confidant, He tells Michonne things he doesn't tell Daryl. Hi, beautiful. Joe, you're beautiful to me too. Thank you. Thank you. So just right away, he starts confiding in Michonne, right? So let's finish the conversation that they're having. So Michonne is telling him that he's been there all night. She was there. Rosita patched him up. Put the band-aids on his cuts. She said, I don't know if she said it yet, but Carl came by. Then she sent him home to where home is the house that now Rick shares with Michonne, Carl, and Judith. So they're living as a family unit. So she said, I live in California, Joe. So they're living. So right away, he confesses his state of mind. What's happening with him? Michonne, remember I told you how he is around Jesse is completely different from how he is around Michonne. With Jesse, he's just focused on that, how to assuage his guilt. She brings him back to the ghost of Lori, of what what is weighing on him in the terms of his conscience, his guilt. And I call that his ghost. So she represents the ghost of Lori, the ghost of Shane, that guilt that they're associated with. So, but when he's around Michonne, he comes back a little to reality. When he's with Jesse, he's in the past. He's trying to recapture the past, and he's trying to redo the past, and he's trying to assuage his guilt. So, and he's very focused on how to, on redoing that dynamic, just getting a chance to assuage his guilt. With Michonne, he's back into the real world. Around Michonne, he's back into the real world. She's his confidant, she's his partner, and here we have an example of that.
Carl came by for a while. I sent him home.
Carl came by, I sent him home.
Rick?
Michonne is serious.
What are you doing? We put Pete in another house. You could have told me what was happening.
Oh, it moved fast. And then Noah. I couldn't tell you about the gun.
No, you couldn't.
Oh, you wanted this place.
We had to stop being out there.
Sorry for that, guys. We got disconnected. And I was like, how do I get it? And I was like, how do I get it back? Oh my gosh. So, did you guys see that? Let me go back.
Well,
I need to hear about what exactly what she said. She said,
Rick,
"What are you doing?"
what are you doing?
And he says,
We put Pete in another house. You could have told me what was happening.
oh, it moved fast. And then Noah.
"You could have told me what was happening." And then he said, everything happened fast. It did. 2 days. All of this, 2 days, guys. 2 days. They came. No, they slept, and then the party was the next night. And they said, no, this is 3 days. 3 days. So all of that from they got to Alexandria to the fight today, that's 3 days. Rick doesn't know this woman. Rick is not chasing this woman. As a matter of fact, let me tell you something that I saw, and I copied it because it so described exactly what I wanted to say to you guys. It says, men often go for what they can get, or the woman who shows them choosing signals. So, remember I told you that Jessie was telegraphing from the moment she met Rick that she was into him. She was into him. So, and she was letting him know. Rick saw it right away. But Rick wasn't, he was just shocked at how much he recognized her, in a sense that she reminded him of Lori. She reminded him of Lori, dressed like Lori. She didn't look like Lori, but she was she started, she boldly came up to him. He was like, I don't know this woman, but she seemed, the fact that she just boldly came to him, entitlement. She's used to getting what she wants. And then she started cutting his hair, the exact thing that Lori would do for him and Carl, the domesticity of it all in the zombie apocalypse. It's not the real world, and here's this woman living this domestic life like he used to live with Lori, and dressed like Lori, hairstyle like how Lori styled her hair, very girl next door Americana, right? And he just got into that frame of mind. He started seeing the ghost again, just like how at the prison he would just be wandering, searching. Remember how at one point what's his name, Herschel had to yell at, hi Andrew, nice to see you, God bless you too, thank you. Oh, thank you, Joe, I appreciate that. Remember how Herschel had to yell at Rick because Rick was just so focused on finding that ghost, that chasing that ghost all around the prison yard, the prison and the prison yard. And Herschel had to yell at him and tell him, get your head back together, because Rick was neglecting Carl. Rick was neglecting the baby. Rick was neglecting his community, his group. Rick was neglecting himself. Rick was neglecting reality and chasing this ghost, which represented his guilt. He could not reconcile that Shane was right. Shane wasn't right, but in his mind, that's what he thought, because he thought he failed. And he did what? He thought that he ended up not doing what he was supposed to do and what Shane and Laurie told him he wouldn't do, which was put Laurie and Carl first and protect them. So Herschel had to yell at Rick, because when Rick gets focused on this with his psychotic break, when he gets into that world, when he starts chasing ghosts, nothing can get Rick out of it. And you know, Carl is Rick's number one. Yet even then in the prison, when he was chasing ghosts, Carl was not a consideration for him. That's why Herschel had to yell at him, because to try to get him back into reality, because that's not who Rick is. So him trying to use Jesse to relive his past, where he could assuage his guilt and prove to Shane and Laurie that he could do this. Him chasing Jesse and trying to get Jesse to let him do that, to get rid of the threat, has nothing to do with Jesse. It has nothing to do with attraction, has nothing to do with lust, has nothing to do with desire, has nothing to do with love. Rick is chasing, what Rick is obsessed with is his ghost. He's obsessed with his guilt. He's obsessed with this burden that he's carrying. And in his fractured mind, Jesse and him getting to annihilate the threat will help him massage that burden, that guilt he's carrying. But we know that's not going to do it. And then last episode, remember? Last episode, we saw Jesse pull a Laurie, where she wanted, in exchange for her giving Rick what he wants, her be able to play that game of annihilating the threat of Pete, which would help him annihilate that threat that he didn't with Laurie, help him do that do-over. He was desperate for her to hear him and for him to take care of that threat. And instead of her focusing on what he's telling her, in the sense that she's in danger, her child is in danger, her child went to get a gun to try to protect her, she didn't care about that. The only thing she cared about was Rick, to get Rick to submit to being with her. She's like, well, if you're going to get rid of my husband, I'm going to need someone. She's like, oh, I don't need anyone to protect me. But that's exactly what she's looking for. She's looking for Captain Saver, right? And she wants Rick to be that. That's why she went over to his house. Deanna didn't have to send her. She went shopping. You know what I'm saying? She wanted to analyze the wares. And she saw that when she went to the house and saw him. And she's like, okay, yeah. You get what I'm saying? And she telegraphed to him, I'm interested. So she's telling him, she said, am I the only one that you would do this for? So she wants him to acknowledge, to say to her that, yes, you're the only one that I'll do it for, which is a lie. So, but why is she asking that? Because she wants him basically to say, I'll be with you. If you give me the allowance to take care. Bye, Kayo. Does Kayo mean hello or goodbye? Kayo Natalino, beautiful name. That's Russian? I can't pronounce it. Can you translate your name in English for me? I want to say hi to you. But yes, Joe, I am. So she basically wanted Rick to say, okay, I'll be with you if you allow me to take care, to do this, to take care of the threat. Oh, you too, Natalino. So, yeah, she's basically telling Rick, am I the only one? So she was like, are you, if I'll do this, if you're interested in me, if you'll be with me. She's not going to give up Pete if she doesn't get another man. I'm seriously, she's Laurie. She's just like Laurie. Rick he saw straight through her. He chose the exact avatar because she has the exact characteristics, the exact entitlement, the exact selfishness, the exact self-centeredness of Laurie. She's like, I will only allow you to help me and my kids. Imagine, her son is in danger. She couldn't care about that. She just wants to know that Rick will be her man. And Rick looks away. We know Rick doesn't want to do this because he's in love. He's in love with someone else. But he's a slave. He's a slave to his guilt. He's a slave to his ghost. Just like he was a slave to chasing Ghost Laurie around the prison, and even Herschel couldn't even get him back to come and take care of his son and daughter. And that's what Rick lives for. So it just shows you the mental break that he has. Will you be with me, Rick? That's it. He had and then he lied and said yes because he's so desperate for her to give in. He was like, he left when she didn't want to cooperate with taking care of Pete. He left, but he came back. He was so desperate. He's like, you got to do this, you will die. And if Pete was successful in killing her and her son, Rick may not have recovered. And you know how I know Rick would not have recovered? Because it's not about her. It would be like Laurie dying again and him failing again to do what she and Shane told him he could not do. He couldn't bear that guilt. But it was not about Jesse. Because Jesse died and he got over that. So it was never about Jesse. It was his desperation. It was about his psyche, his guilt. So the same desperation and single-mindedness he had in going after Ghost Laurie, chasing Ghost Laurie, is the same single-mindedness he had in chasing Jesse's submission to him being able to take care of Pete. Jesse saying yes to him and giving him the permission to take out the threat of Pete. Oh, thank you, Next. Thank you. Inda, I am doing a reaction to The Walking Dead. So, come stai? What language is that? Is it Italiano? Come stai? I love that. So, yeah, so back to Rick and Michonne here. So, she said, what are you doing? Why didn't you tell me what's going on? And he said, everything happened so fast. It was just 3 days. 3 days, guys. 3 days. So this is not any love story or whatever. It's about Rick's psyche, his mental break, his PTSD. He said everything moved so fast, and then Noah died. So the second day they were there, Noah died. And we all saw what happened with Noah's death. Michonne got even more foggy. She was already walking around in a fog. She got more antsy. And Rick noticed that because he's saying, and then whatever happened with Noah, it made me not want to tell you what's going on. You know, he didn't want to burden her. So again, it shows you, even with what's going on with Rick and his psyche, he still has Michonne in his periphery. He's still taking note of what's going on with Michonne because he's in love with her. It's the only reason he's there in Alexandria. We're going to hear him talk about that. Look at this.
I couldn't tell you about the gun.
No, you couldn't.
Oh, you wanted this place.
We had to stop being out there.
See? He said, I couldn't tell you about the gun. And she said, no, you couldn't. Because that's an indictment. That's a judgment. And he lashed back at her. He came, not lashed back, but he came back at her and said, well, you wanted this place. So he's basically blaming her for what he's doing. You see, I took the gun. I had the gun to try to protect us or to take this plot to take this place over because you wanted this place. You knew I didn't want to be in this place, Michonne, but you wanted this place. And he's saying basically, I'm here because of you, but I have to do what I have to do to stay here. So do you see what I'm saying? You remember I told you what this story was really about. It's a love story, but it's not about between who people think it is. It's between Rick and Michonne. He is there because he's fighting so many demons and ghosts. He's fighting his PTSD. He's fighting his paranoia. He's chasing ghosts, his guilt. He's in a place he doesn't want to be. He told her, I feel like I'm still in the container in Terminus. I feel trapped. And it's like, oh, you didn't tell me about the gun. He said, she's like, no, you couldn't, could you? Because why do you have a gun in here, Rick? Why are you not trying to accept this place? And he said, because you wanted us here. You wanted this place. I'm here because you wanted this place, Michonne. He's only there because Michonne wants this place. So he's basically saying, I'm only here because of you. I'm going through this hell, feeling just feeling trapped and scared and just paranoid. And I'm going through this because you wanted this place, Michonne. That's an I love you. There are different ways to say I love you. He's there. He's telling her he loves her in actions. And she's like, yeah, you couldn't tell me about the gun, right? And he's saying, well, you wanted this place. I have the gun because you know I don't want to be here. You know it's tearing me apart to be here. But I'm here. So this is the only way I could be here, to have this gun to protect us. But I'm here, aren't I? You wanted this place, Michonne. He's accusing her. And he's telling her, I'm doing this. The reason why this is happening is because of you, Michonne. And I'm doing this because of you. I'm here because of you. I love you. I don't want to be here, but I'm here. I'm doing all this. I'm losing my freaking mind because you want this place. So guess what? I'm going to make sure that we keep this place one way or another. I'm going to eliminate the threats. I'm going to try to make myself feel at least a little bit safe, that I can protect you and Carl and the baby. This episode, Rick tells Michonne he loves her more than once. So while everybody is looking at a woman that Rick is using to assuage his guilt over the ghost of his ex-wife and his best friend, his ex-best friend, and thinking that's some love story, or Rick is another the real love story is being told to you right here in actions and in words. You wanted this place. And that's the only reason I'm here, and that's why I have the gun. So don't accuse me of not telling you about this. Because I had to do what I had to do, Michonne. You wanted me to try. I was trying, but I had to do this. Because I don't feel safe. And I don't. Rick Grimes, according to his dead wife, his ghost, the ghost that haunts him, says no one can get Rick to do what Rick doesn't want to do. But here we are seeing Rick is doing what Rick doesn't want to do. And he's only doing it because you wanted this place. So you know what, Michonne, you want this place? I'm going to make sure you get this place. I'm here and I'm going to keep this place for you. So I took the gun. Hi, Augustine. Hi, Remick. No problem, Joe. So let's continue. I love these two. That was a powerful, I love you. You wanted this place.
You could have told me what was happening.
Oh, they moved fast. And then Noah. I couldn't tell you about the gun.
No, you couldn't.
Oh, you wanted this place.
We had to stop being out there.
Well, we're here.
You just said you weren't.
So in that accusation of what, you wanted this place, and she said, it's like, I told you, he said it accusatorily. Accusatorily? Is that a word? He accused her. And she's saying, we had to listen. I'm not forcing you to be here because I'm trying to hurt you. But she said we had to stop. So she's doing it out of love for the kids, for him, for the group. And he doesn't want to be there, but he's doing it out of love for her. And she's telling him, well, yeah, he's accusing her. Well, you wanted this place. And she's like, yeah, because we had to stop. And she's right. They had to stop. They were becoming feral. They wouldn't be human anymore. So, wow. And then he said, you know, she said, we had to stop. And he's like, well, yeah, well, I'm here. I'm here. You got what you wanted. I gave you what you wanted, Michonne. I'm here. And she said, but you just said you were not here. In essence, she said, you're not trying. That's why you have the gun. You're not trying. You're not trying to give this place a chance. He said, I'm here because you want it. You wanted this place. So aren't you satisfied? And she's like, no, because you're not trying. And he, you know, so he had no comeback for that. Because it's true. He's not trying. Everything okay, lady? Yeah. Is everything okay with you, Augustine? So, yeah, he's not trying. But I love that I love you. That's a great I love you scene. It's stronger than the words I love you. You wanted this place. I don't want to be here, but I'm here because you wanted this place. And then she's like, but you're not here. And he's like, girl, you're not trying, Rick. He's like, I'm trying. You don't even, Michonne doesn't even know how much Rick is losing his mind in this place. He doesn't want to be in Alexandria, and he's losing his mind. He's telling her exactly how he feels. I feel like I'm back at Terminus in the container. He is honest with her. He's confiding in her. That's how I feel, baby. But you wanted this place, so I'm doing this. And Rick, she doesn't even know. He's sharing some of what he's feeling, but she doesn't even know to the extent that I don't think she knows this guilt, this ghost he's carrying around with him. No one knows. Not even Carol, who's taking advantage of him. She sees him focused on Jesse, so she thinks that has to do with attraction, but it's not. He knows what it's about. He knows he's chasing Laurie around the prison. He's chasing his guilt. So, but Carol doesn't care the reason why. All she knows is that she's going to use him. Yes, Rashida, yes. Well, they are married. They are a married couple. They live together. She sent Carl home. If, you know, if they weren't partners and a couple, she would say, I sent him to his house. I sent him home. They're living together. They're raising their kids together. And they're the only ones that don't see it. Even Carol, who is manipulating and using him, sees it. That's why she's keeping trying to focus him on Jesse, because she wants to take his focus away from Michonne, because Michonne has too much influence on him. And Carol wants that influence over him, because Carol wants to keep him paranoid, just like how she's paranoid. Because if she keeps him paranoid, they will take over the place or leave. She, just like him, don't want to be there. So she wants control over him. So she likes she likes that he doesn't want to be there, because she doesn't want to be there. But she knows the only reason he's there is because of Michonne. She knows that. So she's trying to take him away from Michonne's influence. So if she can pull him away from Michonne, he'll probably leave or take over the place. But as you see around Michonne, Michonne is saying, you're not trying. I want you to try. I want you to give this place a chance. Carol doesn't want that. So she's going to try. She doesn't know what his true interest in Jesse is. She just know there's some kind of interest. So she's going to exploit that. And Jesse sees there's some kind of interest. She doesn't understand either where the interest lies. All she knows, she's interested in him and she wants him to be her man. And if he's going to get rid of her husband, he has to fill his spot. And that's what he said yes to. When she said, am I the only one you'll do this for? She's basically asking him, will you take Pete's place? And he didn't want to. Because he's in love with someone else. He knows she's thirsty for him. He sees it. As I read that quote to you, men often go for what they can get, or, and the or is this latter part applies to Rick, or the woman who shows them choosing signals. She kept giving choosing signals to Rick. She's like, choose me, I'm available, even though she's married. That's why he's so confident around her. Because he's comfortable. He's not intimidated by her. He sees her thirsting for him. And he understands her because she's just like Lori. The woman he's not confident around, the woman he's tentative and scared to approach is Michonne. He's intimidated by her. Not because she is an ogre or anything. He's intimidated by because he's in love with her and she's not like any of the women he's ever met or known. He is in awe of Michonne. He's impressed by Michonne. He respects Michonne. He wants Michonne to think good of him. So that's why when she said, no, you couldn't with a gun, he's like, yeah, but you wanted this place. And she was like, yeah, you're telling me that you're not really here. He's like, I'm here, aren't I? And she's like, no, you're saying you're not here. He didn't have an answer for that because he really doesn't want to disappoint her. He wants her to think well of him because he thinks so highly of her. Jessie, she's easy for him. And he said yes to her. Yeah, I'll be with you. Just to get her to do what he wants, which is for him to take care of Pete, to take care of the threat. Because he's not just seeing Pete as a threat to her. He's paranoid and threatened by things he doesn't even see in Alexandria. He's just threatened. He's paranoid. He feels like he's in the cart, in the container at Terminus. He feels like his life and the life of his loved ones are in danger. Pete represents, one, his taking care of that threat, which assuages his guilt over not being able to take care of the threat that killed Lori. And it also helps him. It feels like he's taking care of an unseen threat that he's feeling. So Jessie doesn't know any of that. She just like Carol, interprets his interest, his focus on her and the situation with Pete. They think that's romantic interest. He's not interested. And I'm going to show you, even when certain things happen, you're going to like, well, that looks like interest. No, I'm going to show you real interest. As a matter of fact, Rick is going to sort of have oh my gosh, I'm losing my voice. Rick is gonna half-heartedly, yes, Rashida, Jesse's just like in the comics, desperate and needy for a man. Perfectly said, Rashida. Yes. She just like Lori wants a backup. They want a backup. That's what Shane was for her, a backup. So I'm gonna show you that Rick really wasn't interested in Jesse, and but she took for her to say yes and give in to him, taking Pete out. He had to agree to be her man. That's what the "am I the only one you would do this for" was. And he looked away, and yes, you saw that lie. He lied, and he knew he was lying, but he was desperate for her to let him take care of Pete. So agreeing to be her man, you're gonna see Rick half-heartedly attempt to take care of her and her sons, because he took away their father. He took away their father. So he's gonna try to, here's this woman now. He got to do what he wanted to do, but he has that residual, that he has to take care of, that he doesn't. He thought he would just vanquish, get rid of Pete, and he'd get relief of his guilt, relief of this paranoia. But no, it's still there. But he no longer needs Jesse to give him permission. He doesn't really need Jesse. He was using her. But he's stuck. He's stuck now, and he's gonna half-heartedly, what's the term? Honor his word to her. Yes. But there she is, without protection, without a husband. Her kids don't have a father. What is he gonna do? Reject her? When he outright told her, yeah, I'll be with you. Just let me kill Pete. And now Pete is dead. He can't just go, who are you? Hi, bye, leave me alone. He can't do that. So he's going to half-heartedly, he has a issue now. She's stuck like glue to him. And he's going to have to half-heartedly, be with her while his heart is with someone else. And you're gonna see that reluctance. It's not that desperation that was there before. It's gone, where he was trying to get her to agree to let him take care of Pete. It's gone. You're gonna see now it's her following him around, and him checking in on them, and her expecting certain things from him, and him trying to fulfill his lie. But I'm jumping ahead of myself. Let's continue. So Rick doesn't have a comeback for Michonne when she said, you're not here. You just said you're not here. He didn't have an answer for that, because he's not trying. And so now Glenn and the others are gonna interrupt and come in. So
where'd you get the gun? You took it, right? In the armory?
Michonne asked him where he got the gun, and Carol jumped in and lied for him. You see what I'm telling you? She thinks she and he now are working together against Michonne. Michonne has no influence over him. She thinks Rick is her partner now, her partner in crime, and yeah, Michonne, go sit down over there. You have no influence anymore. His head is turned somewhere else. She thinks his head is turned because of Jesse. He's into Jesse. He's not into you anymore, Michonne. So you have no influence. So yeah, she thinks she can lie to Michonne and Rick will honor that lie because Michonne is no longer important to him. She has no influence over him. And it's her and Rick, and she's going to get Rick to do what she wants. And, you know, suck it, Michonne. You have no influence on him because he's interested in someone else.
Stupid. Why did you do it?
Look at how he's looking at her.
Just in case.
Deanna's planning to have a meeting tonight. For anyone who wants to.
To kick Rick out?
So he says he took the gun just in case, which is true. He took it in case something happens. So they're having a meeting to discuss whether they should kick Rick out of the community. You see how Rashida says, you see how sneaky Carol is. Carol had a ready-made answer for Rick. Of course, she's a manipulator. She's a manipulator. She thinks she's, you know, she and Rick, she thinks it's her and Rick against Michonne. She thinks she has wrestled influence away over Rick from Michonne. And she's his true partner in crime right now. See? None of them understand Rick. The only one in that room that knows and understands Rick is Michonne.
Try.
We don't know that. Maggie's with Deanna right now. She's gonna find out what it is.
At the meeting, you say you were worried about someone being abused and no one was doing anything about it. You say you took a gun just to be sure that Jesse was safe from a man who wound up attacking you. You say you'll do whatever you want them to. Just tell them a story that they want to hear. That's what I've been doing since I got here. Why? Because these people are children and children like stories.
What happens after all the nice words? And they still try to kick him out.
They're guarding the armory now.
We still have knives. That's all we'll need against them.
Tonight, at the meeting, if it looks like it's going bad, I whistle. Carol grabs Deanna. I take Spencer. You grab Reg. Glenn and Abraham cover us. Watch the crowd.
We can talk to them.
Yeah, we will. If we can't get through, we take the three of them and say we'll slit their throats.
Like at Terminus.
No, we just tell them. They give us the armory, and it's over.
Did you want this?
No. I hit my limit. I screwed up. And here we are. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm just gonna sleep some more.
Oh boy. So they leave. He said he wants to sleep. He's feeling pretty bad. You know why he's feeling pretty bad? Not because they're thinking of kicking him out. He sees the disappointment on Michonne's face. Look at Rick's face. Because in essence, it's really him taking the place over. If they try to kick him out, he has no problem taking the place over, which is what he wants to do anyway. The only way he would feel a little bit more safer, not completely, but So why did he tell them to leave, and why does he look so dejected? Michonne is not pleased with him, and he knows that. And he feels the sting of her disappointment. It really affects him how Michonne sees him. It really, really, really is important to him. It's everything. He wants her to respect him. He wants her to think well of him. And he failed in this. So he looks pretty dejected. It's not about him possibly being kicked out. He couldn't care less about that. Because he thinks he can take them and take the place over. He is really, really reeling about what Michonne thinks about him now. What is Rashida saying? Rashida said, Carol isn't the sweet, innocent lady from Atlanta camp and the farm. Rick's looking on his face is shock. Did you see Carol's look on her face? She loves the plan. Yeah, she loves the plan, yeah. No, he's not shocked by Carol. He's not shocked. He knows who she is, you know. He's a very good reader of people. Rick is very, very smart. As we were discussing earlier, he's very intelligent. Rick is very intelligent. And he's a darn good detective, and he's a darn good detective because he reads people so well. He reads people well, and he's very intelligent. He's very intelligent. So, yeah, he wasn't shocked by what Carol said at all. But he's not liking how he feels because he's not liking what Michonne may think of him. He's not feeling good at all. Yeah. Because he's very worried about what Michonne thinks of him now. And there's Judas hanging his clothes on the line and Maggie watching him. I didn't show you who he was. It was Gabriel. So Maggie's talking to Deanna and her husband, trying to get them to give Rick a good hearing. So a fair hearing, not a good hearing, a fair hearing. So, yeah, it's I don't know why in this show they tell so many stories. He's talking. Um, Deanna's husband Reg is talking to Maggie. He understands. He agrees with Maggie and don't think Rick should be sent away. So Reg is a cool, level-headed guy. Oh, it's getting dark. Sasha. They're all going through this PTSD, guys. They're just messed up, all of them, and they're handling it in their own ways. Even Carol, that's why she doesn't want to be there, so she's trying to manipulate Rick to leave or take the place over. So that's why she loved the plan, Rashida. Do you see the scene with Sasha taking the lost again? Taking the bodies and dumping them in the hole, and then she lays on the bodies because she falls in. See, she falls in, but instead of she lays on top of them, I guess, to feel like one of them. I guess to say she feels like the Walking Dead. But this scene is taken from the comics. This scene of her lying on the walkers was a scene in the comics that Michonne did. Michonne was grieving, and that's what she did also. So they gave that little piece to Sasha. So here we go. What did you say, Rashida? Reg is a beta male. He follows and listens to his wife, Deanna. Yeah, but I wouldn't say he's a beta male. What I would say he is he's a very empathetic man. And remember I said still waters run deep. They're people that don't need to fight or to bristle or to be aggressive to get their point across or to be aware of what's truly going on, because he got a good read on who Rick was. Yeah, Rick was in the street acting like a madman waving his gun, and yet he could see through that Rick wasn't a danger to the community. So I see Reg as an intelligent, empathetic, and I would say intelligent individual. You know, he's an observer, and while he's working on Carol goes back to visit Rick. So I paused it so that we can hear what they have to say, but I wanted to finish what I was saying. He's not only he's not just listening to doing what Deanna says. He makes his point quietly and softly, gently. But Deanna values his opinion, just like in speaking to Maggie. Maggie values his opinion, and he doesn't have to be macho or be aggressive for people to value his opinion, because in his quiet ways, people are they know that Red's opinions are valid or valuable. So I wouldn't call him a beta male at all. He fits that description. Still waters run deep. Hey Joe, you're back. Yeah, I answered you. I said yes, Joe. Yes. It's getting dark. I have to turn the light on. So that's why I wanted to do it in the daytime. I didn't want to have to use light. The light in my car, but it's gotten dark. Okay, so oh, nice, Joe. You get to do what you want, you know. Hopefully part of that is being able to serve and help other people. You're not too restricted in your time. So it's a good thing. Okay, we're back. Carol comes back and wakes Rick up.
It's good what happened last night. We have more cover now. All of them think you've been found out. But it's over.
Why didn't you want to tell him we had more guns?
Michonne stopped you. She knocked you out.
I deserved it.
Well, it was stupid.
She's with us. Glenn is.
I didn't tell them about the guns just in case.
I don't want to lie anymore.
You said you don't want to take this place. And you don't want to lie? Oh, sunshine. You don't get both.
So there you have it. So Rick, I told you he was torn up about lying to Michonne. He was torn up not about lying, he was torn up about disappointing Michonne. And he just outright said it to Carol, I don't want to lie anymore. And she was just like, well, you know, Michonne knocked you out and she stopped you, and he said no, you know, like trying to say, well, Michonne is not on her side. I told you, she's like, Rick, I have Rick now. He's my partner in crime. He's no longer with Michonne. You know, Michonne no longer has his influence. She thinks she got Rick away from Michonne. And here Rick is saying, you know, she's like, yeah, Michonne did this and did that. And he was like, cut it. Michonne is with us. In essence, he's saying, that's not going to work. You get what I'm saying? I ain't turning on Michonne. Michonne and I are still. So she thought she had a clear runway. So, you know, so that was a good, I loved it. Rick just smacked her down. It's like, don't try it. And he even reiterated, even Glenn. You get what I'm saying? It's Michonne and Glenn, because I told you, Michonne and Glenn are almost on the same page. I think Glenn is more even keeled. Michonne wants the place to work, but she still is like, you know, she's relaxing too much. Like she's putting away her sword as an ornament instead of putting it away as a weapon and nearby in case she needs it, you know, where she can grab it. But Glenn sees the place for what it is. It's a safe haven, but they're not safe because they're still in the zombie apocalypse. So he's saying, no, Michonne is with us. No, you're not going to get me to slag on or cast away or denigrate Michonne. So don't even try it. And they deserve to know the truth. I'm not going to lie anymore. She deserves to know the truth, and Glenn deserves to know the truth. So I told you, Rick was, when he sent them out and he was laying there, he was gutted. He felt bad. He felt really bad. He felt he's now struggling with the view that Michonne has of him. So yes, Rashida, Carol wants Rick under her thumb. Exactly. I'm telling you, that's why I need you, Rashida. That's why I need you. Where's our crew, Rashida? Because I would be getting more gems, just like you're giving them to me. We would be getting more gems. What, Joe? Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Well, you're valuable. The first person, I'll put it this way. The person's opinion that matters the most sees you as a treasure. And that's the person's opinion that you are supposed to value and want. And that's God's, your creator. So that's number one. Your value comes from how your creator sees you. The second thing your value comes from is yourself. You have to see the value in yourself, the beauty in yourself, the worth in yourself. See, the creator created you uniquely, lovingly. And that relationship is the number one relationship. And if you focus on that relationship and get attuned to that relationship, you will start to see the value that you have, that the God and the creator of this universe, even the hairs on your head is numbered. Even the hair that sheds out of your head is numbered. He knows everything about you. He values and loves everything about you because he created you. Do you know what the purpose he created you for? He created you to have a relationship with him. That's the reason you're here. That's the reason I'm here, to have a relationship with him. That's the purpose he created you for. So find that, attune to that relationship, and you're going to start to see how uniquely and perfectly made you are. You are a masterpiece. The computers and the inventions human beings make cannot come close to you, to the human being that God created. A human being. Our bodies are a scientific marvel, and our spirit is a wonderful, mysterious, sacred creation. So see the value in that relationship first. Then you'll see who you really are. When you see who you really are, you will value that. You will know your worth. So someone else who doesn't see it, too bad for them. They're missing out. But you won't measure your value based on somebody who cannot see it. We were just talking about intelligence. There are a lot of people that are ignorant. Do you want someone ignorant telling you how, your worth and your value? No. Own that. Get it from the true source, God, Jesus Christ. And then second, when you see that true worth, start seeing and accepting and valuing who you are. And then what you will know, then you will attract someone who can actually treasure and carefully and consideringly nurture and appreciate your worth. And that will be the right person for you. And in the meantime, being single is a gift because, as I said, there's less onus on your time. There's less restriction on your time. You get to do what you want when you want. So enjoy it, use it wisely, use it to serve others, because that's the best thing you could do. Love God and love others. So you're welcome, Joe. You're so very welcome. It took me a while. It took me maturity to get to this point. When I was young, I was foolish and knew nothing. I thought I knew everything, but I knew nothing and I didn't value myself. Now I do. Because wisdom comes with, from God. Remember, we're talking about intelligence, and wisdom comes from God, and he opened my eyes to these truths. And then experience living in the world and seeing the people who foolishly discard each other and foolishly ignore God, how they treat each other. They treat each other like garbage. And they hurt in treating each other like garbage. They're just hurting themselves and each other. There's no value in that. So I stopped putting my value in those people's hands. I realized they're blind. So I no longer let another person dictate my value. I go to the source, and then I see my value and I treasure it and I nurture it. And when you see your value, you will see value in other people. And you'll treat them with respect and kindness and love and compassion and mercy. And they will treat you in kind, because what you sow is what you reap. So the Daryl and Aaron are tracking this guy in a red poncho, and they're trying to help him to bring, I think they want to bring him back to Alexandria, so they're going to track him. So that's that storyline. Talk to me, Rashida. I want to hear more what you're thinking about this storyline so far. What do you think about my take on this Jesse arc? There's Rick walking around with his face looking like a bear clawed it. Look at him. uh, Deanna is not happy with him. And then here comes this little, what was his name? Nicholas or whatever, who lied to Deanna about what Glenn did, Glenn and Noah. Jessie was a weak link that wasn't focused on her kids. Of course not. She was just, yeah. She instead of trying to help her kids, she was chasing Rick. She was chasing attention. Just like Lori. This is just, these people are narcissists. Look at this. Oh. As you know, I can't stand Gabriel. Oh my gosh. He's so selfish. Ooh. Carl asked him, Rick said, "You're staying home." And Carl said, "Is this what is this is? This is home, right?" And then Rick said, "Yes." Remember Michonne said earlier she sent Carl home? Told you. I'm thirsty.
I might have to threaten.
This episode is taking forever. I didn't remember so many things were happening in this episode. Mhm.
Tell them so they can hear you. I don't know if they can. Does that make you afraid?
You're welcome, Joe, anytime.
For them?
That's what we're here for each other, right? Rashida, just like Lori chasing Shane, Jesse's chasing Rick. Father Gabriel was a coward with his own PTSD over his church community. Yep. He was walking around just like Rick was walking around with his guilt. Same thing. Father Gabriel was walking around with his burden, his guilt, his ghosts. Yeah. And they're all handling it in different ways, you know? Rick thinks his redemption comes in being able to save his new ghost, his ghost avatar from a threat. And Gabriel thinks, I don't know what Gabriel is trying to do, because he's trying to get redemption by not him repenting or redeeming, doing something right. He's trying to push his sins on other people. So I don't know what he's doing. And so they're all dealing with PTSD. And remember, as I said, this is day 3. These people don't know, our group don't know these people. Our group don't. Yeah, one of them made Rick agreed to be her man after he gets rid of her husband. Rick doesn't know what he. They're a mess. Rick is a mess. They're all a mess. And just like he was a mess at the prison, and poor Herschel had to try to gather him. But even in Herschel screaming and yelling at him, Rick didn't listen. When Rick becomes obsessed with his ghosts, nothing, it's his guilt, his burden, just like Gabriel is obsessed with his guilt and burden, but he's taking it out on the group. He's trying to push his sins onto the group instead of him dealing with it. And instead of Rick dealing with his, he's trying to recreate the past through other people, using people. The first thing he said to Jesse still applies. You don't know me. See? She doesn't even know that he has a family that he's created with this woman, Michonne. See, even when Rick, he takes care of Pete, and he reluctantly, half-heartedly, sort of hangs around, let Jesse use him as her new man, right? Because he didn't move in with Jesse. He didn't move Jesse in with him. He had no intention of continuing, but he didn't know what to do, because that was one of the vestiges of getting rid of her husband. Now this woman is clinging to him. So he's not going to move her in. He's living with Michonne. And he's not leaving Michonne. So even when he went into her place when the horde came, who was he getting ready with? Michonne. So how would this work? She doesn't know him. She doesn't know what's going on with him. Michonne does. It's because that's who he confides in. 3 days. I think it's 3 days, Rashida. Let's. Hi, hello from Russia, Alex. Nice to see you. Because remember, Rashida, they came in and they slept that night. That night that Michonne came out brushing her teeth, they were all in the living room. That's night 1. So the next day, remember, there was that day, and the party was the second night. And then the next day, right? And then the next day is when he got into the fight with Pete. So it's 3 days. 3 days, I think. I'm not dating anyone, Joe. I'm so busy. I wouldn't be able to give a relationship any time, or, it would be worthless because I have no free time. I'm studying right now. I'm doing reactions, and you can ask my Walking Dead crew. I don't do it enough because I don't really have the time. That's why I'm doing it live, because I don't have the time to sit and record and edit over and over. So I work, and then I'm studying when I'm not working, and then I try to do some reactions to, keep hanging with my Walking Dead crew, because we love this show, and we, even though I don't want a season 2 of the Ones Who Live, I think it may come. And I don't want to miss out on that. So, but you'll find the right person for you, Joe. Just continue to focus on being the best person you can be, and that will attract the right person. It will weed out the wrong people, and it will attract the right person. But for me right now, I would be worthless for anyone. Or any relationship. You're welcome, Joe. Yeah, I wish the showrunners would. Rashida says, I wish the showrunners would give us time. Weeks this takes place. 2 weeks is crazy. Yeah, I don't even. It's 2 weeks. Because I remember I was doing the timeline video. I was doing it for this purpose, and I think I stopped in season. I'm supposed to do season 3. I think I wrote out season 3. I just didn't record it. So what I'm gonna do is read what I recorded, because I don't have the time to edit the videos as I did before. And then YouTube is saying that they won't partner with me because my thing is not original. So I'm not doing all of that anymore, because they're claiming it's not original. So I'll just read stuff like how I did with the letter. So I'm not going to put a lot of pictures and everything in. So I'm just going to read and post it. So yeah, it's just 3 days. And the first thing he said, you don't know me. It stands to true. He don't know her. In essence, he read her easily. She's pretty easy, but she doesn't know Rick Grimes. And Diane, hey Diane. Diane, I was calling you Diana earlier. Please forgive me. I don't know where Diana came from, but Diane is here. Diane is here. Oh my gosh. I was wanting I wanted my crew. I wanted my Patron crew to pull up, because I value you guys' opinion so much. So I wanted you to get in and help me out, because as you know, I ramble, and you guys just perfectly and concisely always say the right thing and sum up everything I'm saying in such eloquent, perfect words. So yay, Diane, I'm so happy to see you. So Diane says, I think Carol lost her control over Rick. Ended when he realized he was lying to Michonne. Yes. Yeah. She never had control over Rick. She was trying to manipulate him, But as I said, she doesn't know the reason why Rick is interested in Jesse. She doesn't know. She only says, I see you talking to her. So he just knows, she just knows that he was a little focused on Jesse. She doesn't know why. She thinks she knows why. So that's why I say she can't fully manipulate Rick because she doesn't know Rick. She thinks she does, but she doesn't know Rick. So she used the threat angle because she know that Rick felt unsafe in Alexandria because that's what she's feeling. But she thought that she had wrestled Rick away from Michonne in pushing him towards Jesse and in him siding with her to take over Alexandria and steal the guns and possibly take over Alexandria. So she thought he was no longer on side with Michonne because Michonne wanted this place. And as she said, even though you were wrong, you were right in terms of Michonne being right and him being wrong about Alexandria being a place to go in. So she thinks finally he's going to be completely on her side. So she thinks, but she doesn't, she never had control over Rick. She was just trying to manipulate the situation, you know, to think, but she thinks she finally got influence away from Michonne because she got his focus away from Michonne. But she doesn't know Rick. She doesn't know Rick. When he ran them out of the room, it's because of how he was feeling terrible about how Michonne sees him now, he thinks. And then when she came back and she tried to, yeah, you see, you and I partners in crime. Look at Michonne. He shut her down. He's like, Michonne is with us. Michonne, in essence, shut up. Michonne, you don't even try that. See what I'm saying? So, even if it was a lie of omission, yeah. Rashida says, that's even crazier. 3 days. Alexandria really hits hard for the group. Yeah, it hits hard because they're all suffering. That's why Michonne said they had to stop. They're all suffering from PTSD. And Alexandria doesn't feel real. Because every place they go and every people they have encountered have tried to end them. So they're on tenterhooks in Alexandria. They feel like it's gonna give any minute. And when I say give any minute, either they're gonna be overtaken or people are gonna come and take it from them, or the people in there are gonna reveal their true selves and attack them. So they're unsettled. It feels unreal to them. It feels unreal, and Rick described it perfectly to Michonne. He feels like he's in the train car at Terminus. That's what he feels. My lips are getting dry. He feels like he's in the train car at Terminus. And when they were in the train car at Terminus, they were rounded up to be killed. So that's how Rick is feeling. And that's they're not in a good place. When I say they're not in a good place, they're not in a good place mentally. The only ones that are sort of handling it a little better are Glenn is number one. He's handling it the best. Maggie and Michonne is she sees the potential of the place, but she's also deluding herself. In essence, she's deluding herself. She's going to the other extreme. But even though she's going to the other extreme, it's like she still doesn't she too can't believe it's real. That's why she's in this fog-like state. It's like she's like trying to wake up. Is this reality? You know? So they're all going through it. Daryl and Aaron are still tracking. Watching Alexandria scared me with their normalizing this new having dinner parties. Yeah, that's what Sasha she couldn't believe it. She's like, these people are talking about like a zombie apocalypse hadn't occurred or isn't happening outside the gates. It's like, what the heck is going on? You know? And she's grieving terribly, and these people are acting as if everything is normal. So she erupted. It's crazy. It's like crazy town. And interestingly, remember what Andrew Lincoln said? He said he hated this storyline. He hated Alexandria. We know that he didn't like the Jesse storyline, because throughout it all he kept telling every interviewer he wants Michonne. Because people were like, oh, you and Jesse, and he's like, yeah, I want Rick to be, I want my character to be with Michonne. He was like, whatever. But aside from that, when Danai and Andy did the recap of The Walking Dead for The Ones Who Live, the preview for Ones Who Live, and they were in Alexandria. Andrew Lincoln said, Andy said, I hated Alexandria. He's like, it just didn't feel like The Walking Dead to him. It was so, I guess that added to his acting that, he just was not feeling it. He wasn't feeling the ghost story with Jesse, and how the writers were trying to fool on the surface people that this was some kind of romance when it wasn't a romance. And then he hated the setting. They followed the guy into a place, the guy they were tracking, and they ended up surrounded by walkers that were stored in some trucks. So that's Aaron and Daryl, that is. So yeah, he didn't like the setting, of that. He didn't like the setting of, I guess, from season 1 through season 2, season 3, the farm, 2, the farm, 3, the prison, the season 4, the prison, and then season 5, the first half, latter part of season 4 and first, the being on the road and surviving. I think he enjoyed that. He didn't like this settled suburban type of thing. So that was interesting. Because Alexandria doesn't fit the zombie apocalypse setting. It doesn't. I love it. Because I want them to be safe. I guess it doesn't fit the horror setting. Even though they have the walkers invade Alexandria and all of that stuff, and then the Savior War. I think the storylines that came after the Jesse family storyline and then the Negan storyline, I don't think those were Andrew Lincoln's favorite storylines on his time in The Walking Dead at all. Rashida says Sasha outbursts in the dinner party. It was just like Michonne's outbursts in the comics. The Jesse romance with Rick was a dead giveaway of trying to put them together. In the comics, it was obvious. No, in essence, because the thing is, they wrote the story. They wrote the story for one thing only. Let me pause it here. They wrote the story for one thing only, and that was to get for that, was it a season mid-season premiere? What happened with Jesse and the boys, and then what happened with Rick? That was what they did the story for. They wanted that shock value. So they thought if the audience thought that Rick cared about her, it would have more impact. But if you watch what I'm trying to explain to you about the arc is that Rick was not interested in Lori in a romantic sense. So it wasn't a romance. So I disagree with you on the framing of that statement, Rashida. It was never a romance. Rick, watch when Rick met her. It's shock. It's sort of a recognition. And then when she started cutting his hair, it was depression. And then at the party with at the party when he handed the baby over, how she's, you know, how she had his baby and she kept coming over to him, and you know, and so he saw that she was, you know, in essence she was telegraphing, I'm available, choose me. But when she handed the baby over, so he knows she was available to him, she wanted him, but she handed the baby, whenever he gets around her, I explained it, he gets into this fugue. So it's like he's seen his ghost everywhere. Laurie, like how he saw Laurie around the prison. And anytime she's around, he got that look. And her coming up with the baby, it made him feel as if it was like, you know, it's like Laurie handed him Carl or whatever. That they got into a domestic rhythm. And then after that was him, Carol telling him about Pete, the threat of Pete, which just heightened him. Remember what he says he feels like? He feels he's paranoid. He feels as if he's in the cart. There's a threat. So then now he wants to get rid of that threat. And it coupled with what he's seen her as and the burden of guilt he has, like Gabriel has that burden of guilt, it makes him want to do this right this time. So then he got desperate to get to have Jesse give into him to take care of Pete. That's what he wanted from Jesse, for Jesse to let him take care of Pete. And she puts a condition on it. He asked her and she pushed. He left. She said no. He left. He's like, please, we have to take care of this because he's kill you. Why is it so important that if he kills her, she's gonna die? And it didn't matter in the end. He didn't lose his mind or anything over her death. He never mentioned her again. This was not a romance. If it was somebody he cared about, had feelings for, she would come up again at some point. She never came up again. It was never about her. He was never in love with her or wanting to be with her. He wanted to use her to assuage his guilt. So it was not a romance. And the writers wrote Jesse's storyline because even the actress, I'll tell you this, even the actress, she thought, because the fans were saying, oh, she's going to be the new Andrea. She had blonde hair. And that's why they did it too. They wanted to fool the fans. It's called subverting expectations. Writers do this a lot. Some do. I don't agree with that type of writing, but they subvert expectations in a cheap way to shock the audience and shock. Instead of writing a good story, they think gimmicks and shocking the audience will keep them engaged. So they made her blonde, so people are like, oh, is this the new Andrea? And then they had Rick focusing on her and her telegraphing her interest. They're like, oh, Rick is into her. No, he was. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you how Rick looks at Michonne versus how he looks at Jesse. How when she touches him, he doesn't touch her back. When Michonne touches him, he touches her back. Rick was not into her. But then he was so desperate for her to give in to him to take care of Pete. To take care of Pete, he sort of agreed to be with her. But when Pete got taken care of, his being with her was very half-hearted. It's like, damn, now I have to take care of this woman and her boys. But he wasn't focused on them. He sort of got back to, it's just, I'm getting ahead of myself. But yeah, in the comics, Jesse was a completely different story than this storyline. And one of the things I forgot I was saying and then I stopped was that the actress that plays Jesse, she got excited and thought her story was gonna continue because the Jesse fans were like, oh my gosh, she's the new Andrea. The comic book, the Andrea fans wanted her to be the new Andrea because they didn't want Rick with Michonne. And they're like, yeah, she's going to be the new Andrea. So she was, I think, I don't know if she was pregnant yet, but for an actor, it's very hard to get a steady role. Very, very difficult. So if you get one, you want to keep it. So she thought she wanted to continue in this role. And she went and bought a house and she told Scott Gimple, and Scott Gimple panicked. Scott Gimple was like, no, I'm sorry. So he ended up telling her ahead of time that Jesse was going to die because she was settling. She bought a house and she was getting in Georgia where they film. She was getting ready to settle down and stay there, thinking that she was going to be on the Walking Dead long term. She thought she bought into the story that she was a new Andrea. She was actually Ghost Laurie, and they used the Jesse name and character, but they subverted expectation, trying to fool the audience so that the shock when she did get Jesse's end would still shock the audience. And that's why they had her have the blonde hair. Okay, guys, I have, it looks like someone is trying to reach me, and I have gone on for 2 hours. So I've gone on for 2 hours, so I'm going to end the reaction. I don't want to stop, but unless you hold on, please. Let me see. Sorry about that, guys. Sorry about that, guys. I had a personal call. Uh, sorry. Yeah, so yeah, I'm going on a bit long, but I didn't want to stop so far in. I can't believe. Let's continue and see how much more we can do. Okay.
What are you doing?
You need to check on Tara. You treated her. You're a surgeon. You need to do that.
Get out.
This scene is so dumb. Look at
I
this.
could kill you right now. I could. I will. And then who would believe I did it because I didn't like you? No one. They believe you tried to hurt me.
That scene is so stupid. That scene is so stupid. Like big lugging Pete, right? Look how Pete handled Rick. Yeah, like Carol with a stupid knife can do anything. All Pete has to do is grab her, right? You saw how Morgan just threw her. Well, that hasn't happened yet. But I'm just saying, look how short Morgan is, and Morgan easily handled her. They love to. It is so unrealistic of how they write Carol that she became a joke. It's so unrealistic, and it does a disservice to her and the actress, and it does a disservice to her character, because they're just telling you she's a badass, she's this, and she's not doing anything that shows that she's a badass, because they're putting her up against men that could easily handle her and would handle her in reality, right? So, and they're not even writing it to make it believable. It's so stupid. Anyway, I'll just show she's threatening Pete, and so I'll just let that keep playing and whatever. The Jessie actress wasn't paying attention to her role. The Andrea fans were misguided in thinking she could be comic book Andrea. I didn't believe this scene with Carol and Pete. Yeah, it was so stupid, Rashida. That scene. And they're going to do a lot more scenes like that with Carol and bunch of men. And we're to believe that Carol can handle all these guys. It's so stupid and laughable. And, nobody buys it. Just her, her fans, unfortunately, because they want to. But it's a disservice to the character. And it's a disservice to the actress because it looks so stupid and unbelievable. Yeah, she wasn't paying attention. She's an actress, and she wants to work, and she wants to continue to be on the show. So she's gonna buy into what the fans were saying, and she wrote a letter to Gimple. This was what I forgot. I think her name is Alexandra, whatever. She wrote a letter to Gimple telling him how she could, continue in the show. And, she was, I guess she wanted to be the Andrea or whatever, but she continued to be, she says, I can fight, I can beat up walkers now and blah, blah, blah. She can be a badass. And, she wanted to be Andrea per se, that Andrea-like character. So, because even she knew that this Rick Jessie thing wasn't, but she thought maybe if they rewrote her, not to be Andrea, but you see like how they made Sasha the sniper, they gave qualities of Andrea to Sasha. So I think that's what she wanted. And I guess then she could be with Rick long term. See how some people think, how they see certain people as invisible? Because Jessie is treating Michonne. Michonne lives with Rick. Michonne is not the kid's babysitter, and she's treating Michonne as if Michonne is invisible. The actress also was treating Michonne as invisible, because if she thinks that she would end up being paired with Rick. She wasn't paying attention to the show. But some people are entitled like that. You know what I mean? They're she very entitled, just like Lori was entitled. She's entitled. So here is Rick living with this gorgeous, sexy woman that he confides in, he's raising his kids with, and he's giving Google eyes to. Yet she thinks she could be another version of Andrea to be and be prepared with Rick long term. I almost said a wrong word, but yeah, that's some serious entitlement, and that takes some really blind vision in it. And when I say blind vision, it's for her to not see Michonne and deny, to just treat them as invisible. That is some huge cojones, some huge entitlement, boy. Rashida says the creators are doing it on the Daryl Dixon show with Carol. It is so annoying. Yeah, I have not watched the Daryl Dixon show, but I could believe it because they kept doing it, even though it kept getting more ridiculous and more ridiculous on The Walking Dead. But they kept doing it, so I didn't think they would stop. And they, from what you're saying, they didn't stop, and that's yikes. And as I've heard, unfortunately for Norman, the ratings are extremely low. The Daryl Dixon show has the lowest ratings of the whole Walking Dead franchise. And his first season, when it was just him, it was doing okay. So what does that tell you? That the ridiculousness that they're writing Carol into, it doesn't serve anyone. It doesn't serve the show, and it doesn't serve the character, and it doesn't serve the actress, because it's just making her look ridiculous. Rashida said Jessie could have been Andrea from season 2, thinking she can fight walkers and shoot when she couldn't. Yeah. Some delusions, of grandeur